Hello, everybody. I am Hoardergamer, and today we have comics, we have toys, we have games. We got everything today. Everything. And we have two comic book reviews, not just one. It all kind of worked out today. I was really surprised because I had some personal things going on, but the show, I'd say, worked out pretty well today. So let's start right away with the review of Darkwing Duck. When there's trouble, you call DW. Darkwing Duck number 3 by Amanda Dabert and Carlo Laro. Very good. It was very good. That's not all I'm going to say, but clever, just like the other two issues were, and actually a plot. Well, let me tell you what I mean by that. An overarching plot. So obviously there's a plot in each issue, but with the first issue I was a little worried that it was going to be issue to issue and nothing would carry over. So the idea is Darkwing Duck is now Drake Mallard. He's Darkwing Duck no more, and he did that to basically raise Gosselin and to protect her. And he decided to basically pledge his feelings towards Morgana Macabre, and they've moved in together. So it's been very good. The dialogue's been great. It's been really a good, great read. I will say this, though. Something in this book is weird because it's incredibly rushed. The first page or so sets up what seems to be Bushroot, and indeed it's Bushroot. It hasn't been a big surprise as to who the villains are in these first 3 issues. Like, I think Quackerjack, I think, was in the second issue. And Negaduck was the first issue, I believe. So, yeah, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, Darkwing is leaving school, is in a little bit of bad trouble because of something he did there. And it's funny because, he's 35, but I think he's teaching there now is the idea. And he gets admonished and he leaves with Morgana. And all of a sudden, Gosselin screams, "Help, it's Bushroot." And you see Bushroot's roots all over the school. It's like 2 panels. It just feels really rushed. Except for the first page that indeed shows like something like Bushroot or something plant-based is attacking somebody. But otherwise it was really good. The clever dialogue, the beautiful clean artwork, a great storyline involving Launchpad, who had to find another job, ends up working for Morgana Macabre's father, who Drake Mallard says, he's evil. And Launchpad is like, he's not evil. He's just trying to make things better for monster kind. And that was funny. That was funny. And the thing about this is, what I really like about it is, while I did like the original cartoon, this writing is even better than that. This is writing that approaches, or actually it reaches, the level of the DuckTales series that came out, I want to say now, like 3 or 4 years ago. That was excellent. That was really good. So Darkwing Duck number 3 is very good, but it's rushed. It feels rushed at the very end. But man, the other 20 pages are really solid, and I really do like the book. I think it's a good series so far, and I'm happy they have this thread of Darkwing, basically retiring, so we actually have, something interesting going on, and, him trying to pull that off. I don't think it's going to work out, though, to be honest with you. He already had to pull out his gas gun, thinking he had to attack something in the woods. So he hasn't completely left it all behind. But yeah, I think it's cool. If you're a fan of the DuckTales reboot that happened a few years ago, and you're a fan of the Chip and Dale movie, which actually turned out to be like a Rescue Rangers film, then I think you'll really dig Darkwing Duck and Amanda Dabert's take on it. Okay, next up we have gaming. Okay, and the first part is going to be like, Hoarder, please shut up. Hoarder, we don't want to hear more about this. You couldn't talk about it more, Hoarder. And I'm like, I can't hear you. Okay, everybody. The time is finally coming for the Diablo 4 open beta. Early access starts the 17th, 18th, and 19th, so it starts, I believe, at 11 a.m. Central Time on Friday. So that's when early access starts. You have access to the Rogue, the Barbarian, and the Sorcerer. And if you played Diablo 3, the Rogue seems a lot like the Demon Hunter, including like putting out traps and everything like that. So, and having the ranged rapid fire arrows. That's something the Rogue has. So that's actually the class I'm going to play for early access. And then the open beta, which is going to be just the regular open beta, not early access, is the 24th, 25th, and 26th. And again, I think it starts at 11 a.m. on the 24th. So now that's going to be a little different. That's going to open up 2 more classes, Necromancer and Druid. So people are very excited for that. I'm excited because Druid is the main class I want to start with when the game finally launches. I don't expect I'll do all 5, like try all 5. We can apparently have up to 10 characters on our account, even in the beta. So I don't think I'll do all of them, but I'll do a number of them. Okay. Then we have, what is the open beta? It's the first zone. Okay? And it's supposed to be rather large. And you can get up to level 25, but if you get to level 20, you get like a title that's used in game. And I think there might be even one right when you get to the first town of Kiovashad. There's a title, so that's much earlier, probably just in half hour to hour, 2 hours into the game, real early. And then you also get one of the most amazing things, the Beta Wolf Pack. It is a backpack with an adorable little baby wolf trying to sleep, and it's fully animated, and they even did like a video they showed on their Twitter and even put it up on YouTube where you can see like a loop of this animated little wolf trying to sleep. And you get that for getting to level 20. You don't even have to get to level 25 for that. You just have to get to level 20 at some point in the open beta, whether it's early access or whether it's the full beta, the full open beta. Okay? And story-wise, it's the prologue and Act 1. Now, this game is huge. Fractured Peaks is where this first part takes place. There are 5 huge regions in Diablo 4. So we will have access to only one of them. So don't worry about like ruining the entire story for yourself or anything like that. It basically like a fifth of the game, if that. It almost seems like the amount of time for leveling up and everything is going to be like quickened than, you know, more so than the normal game. So you can like do a lot of things, but, you know, not like everything. Also, we have 4 times, we have a Shava. Let me explain the 4 times part. A Shava is the world boss. And I'm going to make a terrible joke again. And I'm going to have to do it so you can actually see my face and my reaction. How will I beat the world boss? Well, I'm going to find someone slower than me, and I'm going to Ashava them right into the world boss's face. And then I'm going to run away. That's a terrible joke. You had to see my face. You had to... Okay. So I do have some information here. I took some photos. Let me get the times here. Okay, there's the wolf pack. Okay, 1 second here. Pretty sure I took a photo of all this stuff. Okay. So there's the early access open beta info. Here we go. Ashava, March 18th at 10 a.m., 12 p.m., and 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Actually, PDT. Pacific. I don't know exactly. I'm guessing that's the same as Pacific. If it's different than Pacific Standard Time, then I apologize. But then also March 25th, 10 a.m., 12 p.m., and 10 p.m., and then midnight at PDT. So 4 times each week, and it's going to be a big event. So like I believe it's you and up to 11 other players are in an instanced event fighting a Shava, and hopefully you'll defeat a Shava. Apparently it's supposed to be pretty awesome and intense, and it's an actual world boss. And I believe the game is launching with 3 of them. And I think they've mentioned that it's possible for more world bosses, like as, you know, seasons happen and new content drops for the game. Because the game is going to drop a lot of content. Not like Diablo 3, where you just get seasons, but in the content it sounds almost more like Diablo Immortal, where all of a sudden there's a story drop. All of a sudden there's a new area. Things like that. Now they might have larger expansions that you purchase, but those would be big. You know, that'd be like something like the Malthael expansion, which the name escapes me. I apologize. Yeah, it would be something larger like that. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of content, more so than you're used to if you play Diablo 3. So I'm very much looking forward to that part of this game. One thing that some people don't like, it is always online. You can't play this offline, but it is a game as a service. So, and this game would be, I think, really hard for them to do offline. I don't know. I don't think Path of Exile is offline. So I think you're seeing more and more of the more recent ARPGs that need to be online. But yeah, I believe that's all the information I have currently. If anyone has any questions on Diablo 4, feel free to ask me. I know quite a bit about it. I've been watching many videos, including with like Rod Ferguson and Joe Shelley. I'll be streaming a lot of it too on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Hoardergamer. So there's that. And now that we've covered Diablo, oh, I should also say, Pewter Odin, also on Twitch, will be doing a Diablo 4 as well. And I look forward to playing with Pewter. Hopefully Hero Mentor. We'll see how that goes. That's not a definite. And hopefully Supreme Wiccan. I played with them before on Diablo 3, and it was a great deal of fun. And I, for sure, I'm pretty positive I'll be playing with Pewter. And I just found out that Jay Shockblast will actually be playing Diablo 4 too, which is awesome. Okay, give me 1 second here. So this next part is almost like comical, because it's going to be me looking at the Reddit and giving people credit for the things they're asking and saying, you know, because it's only fair. But it's like, this is where we are now with Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. It's like we have to make our own news up. And we have to, like, cope as hard as we can, because things are definitely looking like the delay. Like, it's almost definitely happening. So, it's like, do you think the rumors of the delay are true, right? And yeah, everyone is saying, you know, Jason Schreier. And I agree. Jason Schreier is a very reputable source. And I think things would go very badly if it turns out that his information was wrong and there is no delay. Like, that would be crazy. It would be a bad thing. Because then that's Bloomberg, who basically published his story, say, you know, and their, you know, reputation is attached to their reporters. Okay, so I'm really thinking that, yeah, it's going to be delayed. I definitely think that. I'm hoping it's not a long period of time, though. Like I said before, July or August would be a really good idea. August, to me, seems great, because I would expect Spider-Man to, as long as it doesn't get pushed back, I'm not trying to curse it, please don't be upset. But we're looking at modern games now and how long they take, the cycle it takes to make new games. And it's been crazy. Basically, it's been said about 5 to 7 years now. And it used to be about 3 to 5 years at the most. But now it's like 5 to 7. It's basically the idea that one generation of a console is going to get one game in the series a lot of times. Apparently, if someone started a brand new AAA game now, it wouldn't be out before PlayStation 6 was out. Or whatever the next Xbox will be after Series X, Series S. That's crazy. Now, I believe, I can't be 100%, they're talking about a AAA open world game experience. Not necessarily something that's more linear. I don't know. I would think that even with excellent graphics and, using the capabilities of things like ray tracing and everything, if it was linear, then maybe you could do a game in 3 to maybe 5 years, I would think. I could be totally wrong, but that's my thought, that they are talking more about the open world type of thing, because when I keep hearing about these long development times, it seems to be for an open world type game, or a game as a service type game. Here's IM_Johnny Low. Just ready for them to announce the delay already. Hand on face emote. That's how I feel too. I feel like we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. One thing that's really important too is this. Did the Suicide Squad Kill Arkham Asylum comic get removed from DCComics.com? And someone has said, I'll get the name here in a second, Puzzleheaded -run 6827. I can confirm it. I had it bookmarked. It was also where the covers for the comic were announced, and it got removed. Whether it got removed because they are delaying it, I don't know, but I don't think it's a bad guess. So, yes, the comic's tied into the game. If the comic's delayed, that's a really strong indicator, especially if they took it off the website, that the game is going to be delayed. Now, the worst case scenario is that, and I don't expect this, I hope to God this doesn't happen, is that they just cut their losses. I'm being honest with you. I'm just saying what the worst case scenario is. I don't expect it. I don't want it. I damn sure don't want it. But Zaslav, the gentleman that's in charge now at WB Discovery, I don't know exactly what's going on there with certain decisions he's been making. He might be like, well, 7 years has been spent making this game and it needs all this more time. We can't do it. And, I mean, he didn't put out the Batgirl movie, so it's not impossible that that would happen. Now, that would upset me for so many reasons. First off, I think the game looks really cool. I look forward to playing the game. I'd feel bad for the devs, because then it's like some of them have been working on a game for 7 years, and like if they have like their resume or their portfolio or whatever, what do they say? Oh, I worked on this, WB canceled it after all these years. That's not a good look. It's a terrible look. Okay, so other options here as to what's going on with the game and why it's delayed. Okay, so that was the worst case scenario, obviously, if they cancel the game. Okay, I don't think there's any question that that would be the worst case scenario. Okay, second worst case scenario. The game needs a lot more development time, will come out next year. Now, that's disappointing and upsetting, but one thing to keep in mind is that Arkham Knight was meant to come out October of 2014. And then it got announced it was going to come out June of 2015. So that was about 8 months right there being pushed back. And Arkham Knight, except for on PC, was an excellent experience. And the reason it was bad on PC is because it was someone else that ported it and not Rocksteady. So there's precedent. There's precedent that even like Rocksteady, at the height of their powers, right, had to push the game back. And they pushed it back like 8 months. Now, here's something a lot of people aren't reporting on, or certain, I guess, threads that are connected that people aren't seeing, but I do like to talk about it. Huge game came out recently from WB Games, Hogwarts Legacy. No matter what you think about it, it sold amazingly well. Like 12.5 million, I believe, in its first week. I would not be surprised if it was damn near 20 now. I don't know. They haven't said. But it's been selling insanely well. There's rumors that it's going to be coming to HBO Max with an actual series. A number of sources have said that. So while not definite, it seems like that is happening. Zaslav himself, actually, I believe it was Zaslav, said that it is a franchise now. So not just a game. Like, if anything, if I'm guessing it'll be 2 more games at least, like year 6 and year 7. Because in this game, you're in year 5. So they might have set it up like that to have a trilogy. That could be the reason. But here's the thing. That game was meant to come out, I believe, in April. It got pushed back. It could be that they see Hogwarts Legacy as this massive cash cow, right? And they don't want to promote any other games until the last gen version comes out. Because, you know, even if we have like a Series X or PS5 or something like that, there are millions of people that have PS4 and PS4 Pro that are looking to play Hogwarts Legacy. WB Games has a whole thing where, like, they almost never promote more than one game at a time, unless one of them's like a Lego game. You can look at the history of their promotions. It's like that. It's like one at a time. So it's very possible this being pushed back and, you know, doing some polish, which, you know, all games need that. Usually they all now have the day one patch and everything. It could be all that coincides and pushes the game back only 2 or 3 months, which I think would be awesome. Like I said, July or August I think would be good. They would beat Spider-Man 2 to the punch, because I fully expect Spider-Man in like September, October, or November. I can't see it any sooner than that, and that is if it comes out this year. Again, not trying to jinx it. That's one of the main games I'm also looking forward to. Like, to be honest with you right now, for games, it's Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Diablo 4, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and Spider-Man 2. Those would be my main games that I'm looking forward to. I'm also interested, of course, in Legend of Zelda, because I want to see if the weapons break instantly when you touch them. Like, as soon as I pick up a sword, is it going to break in my hand? Because I just can't get enough. I can't get enough of those breaking weapons. So great. So fantastic. Definitely not a detriment to me playing the first game at all. Ever. Nope. Nope. No, obviously just kidding with a heavy dose of sarcasm there. Yeah, I wasn't big on the instantly breaking weapons in the first game. Like, there's no reason you should have to go through 3 or 4 swords fighting one enemy. That's insane. That's a level of fragility with weapons and gear that even like the Dark Souls, you know, from Software, any of the companies that make a Soulsborne type game would even think of doing. Yet everyone was okay with it because Nintendo did it. And I'll bring that up sometimes too. It's like, Nintendo can do no wrong. Even when Nintendo is very much doing a wrong, Nintendo can do no wrong. That's the whole vibe you get from like hardcore Nintendo fans. And it gets tiring. Even like the Amiibos, when those came out, they didn't make anywhere near enough. They had absurd scarcity. You had to go crazy to find any of, like, I think the first 2 or 3 series of Amiibos. It was ridiculous. And now it's like they barely come out here and there. They focus on a game for 3 or 4 years. I think there's still Smash Brother characters being released. I will say this, though. The new amiibo from Tears of the Kingdom of Link is really cool. I really do like that, actually. I thought that was nice looking. So, I guess that's pretty much all our game information. And really, WB Games, I know no one at WB Games, or WB Games, no. WB, is that like, so like Beyonce having a video game company? WB? Okay. W Queen Bay? Okay. My God, I went on a tangent there, didn't I? See, that's the fun of live. You know, if I was super professional, this would be edited. You know, I'd have like people that worked on the Oscars. You know, not like the actual show with the awards and everything, but like people that make films and stuff. They would be putting this video together and editing it perfectly with this musical score by like John Williams and all that. But see, I'm not professional, not in that way. So I like the chaos. I like controlled chaos. We'll put it that way. But yes, WB Games, please listen. You know, please listen to your fans. It's easier, and I put this in a tweet, it's easier for you just to rip the Band-Aid off, and it was neat. I found out there's actually an emote for Band-Aid. I didn't know about that until I typed it in. But it's easier to pull that Band-Aid off and say, yeah, there's a delay. Yeah, this is going on. Then just, at this point, it feels like you're stringing your fans along. Because yes, while you did not ask for Jason Schreier to come and have this story come out, it did. And you have to face that, and you need to be vocal. Right now, I feel that if they aren't vocal and they just stay quiet about this, they're going to lose more goodwill from the people that are already interested in the game, the people that want it. And for the love of God, I cannot believe that there haven't been pre-orders for the game yet. That makes no sense to me. Pre-orders will actually give you an indication, you know, outside of the trolls, outside of the, you know, clicks for like negativity and anger, if people are really excited about the game and how many people are excited. So I can't understand why they didn't put pre-orders live, because even if pre-orders are live, right, this has happened with other games get pushed back, you know. Case in point, bought a copy of a Star Wars Jedi Survivor as a Christmas gift for my friend and neighbor, Davey he goes by, and it was going to come out this month. Like, I want to say it was going to come out Friday. I think it was the 17th. Now it comes out like, I think, April 27th, and the pre-order still stands. It's just longer that, you know, all of us, including Davey, have to wait to get their copy of the game. So it's odd to me. Now, one of the craziest things I heard, some people think that pre-orders haven't gone live because it is free to play. I just can't see that. With the amount of time and money put into this game, even if you're like, oh, I gotta shoot things that have purple balls on them. Well, yes, but those things look gorgeous, and the animation's really good. And you see, you look at all these things, right? You look at the similarity between the cinema and the actual gameplay. This looks gorgeous. Like, this is a better engine than Marvel's Avengers had. You know, I mean, I can't see this being free to play, so I don't think that's the reason. One possible reason could be they were gauging cost. They were seeing if people will pay $69.99 for it, or if they want to pay $49.99 for it. That could be one of the things, you know? Okay, but now we are actually done talking about video games, and it is time for us to toy around. Let's toy around a little bit, everybody. First up, some of these are going to be minor spoilers. I apologize. Flash, the new Flash movie. And I think you know my view on it. I'm not thrilled about supporting Ezra Miller after a number of things that Ezra Miller did. I won't go into them in detail, because then this becomes a half-hour Ezra Miller conversation. But he did some pretty, let's see, I'm going to be diplomatic here, did some pretty squirrely things. and a lot of them like illegal. So, well, for whatever reason, WB Movies still hitched their star to Ezra Miller, and the joke I make, of course, is that Ezra has something over on the executives at WB. I don't think that's actually true, but it's the joke I make to like kind of explain as to how, through numerous rewrites, false starts and everything of this movie, he is still the Flash after all these crimes and alleged crimes committed. Okay, anyway, here is Batfleck Batman. Okay? Look at this. I think it's pretty cool, actually. It's a different outfit than the movies had. There's some level of similarity, but I think it's really cool. So that's one of the figures that's coming out. And there's also going to be Supergirl, and I don't know if there's a Zod from McFarlane Toys. These are 7-inch figures, by the way, so these are pretty large. And the reason I told you that size, I'll be showing you something soon that goes with these figures that is really awesome. And if you want it, you need to go online after you see this video and see if it's still available. McFarlane Toys usually do not sell out in pre-orders in minutes. But some of the places are selling out for this item that I'll show very shortly. Don't worry, though. I don't have you, like, on the hook for a half hour or anything. It's just going to be, like, a minute or two as we get to that item. So, yeah, I like this figure. I like the multiple fists. I think that's really cool. I will agree, though. People looking at the sculpt are like, it really doesn't look much like Ben Affleck. I agree with that. I do think it looks like a kick-ass Batman figure, though. So, I think it's pretty awesome. $19.99. Again, McFarlane Toys are usually between that $19.99, $24.99 price. Everywhere I've been seeing this for pre-order, $19.99. Comes out very soon, too. Comes out in April, apparently, unless they get pushed back. But I know it's really soon. Solicit the figure, and it comes out like a month later, if not less than a month. That's insane. Okay, but let me send him back to the Batcave. Oh, let me send him back to the Snyder Batcave. You'll find out why I had to say that. Look at this. Michael Keaton Batman. Okay? The Michael Keaton Batman has a cloth cape. Has his grapple gun. His batarang. 2 extra fists. They both had stands. I didn't mention the stand, but they both had stands. This one I'm definitely going to order. This is cool. This is awesome. And this awesome figure is going to go really well. Okay. Let me see if I can have both of them up here at the same time. I may not be able to. This one's going to be big. Michael Keaton Batman from '89 Batman is going to go really well from the Flash movie with this. Oh, that actually worked out pretty well. Obviously, you can't see me, but that's not a loss. That's actually a blessing for you. Okay. Anyway, look at this. Okay? I think this is gorgeous looking. Look at the silver accents on the exhaust or whatever you want to call that on the side of the car. Look at the bat hubcaps. Okay? And this vehicle fits this 7-inch figure. So it's 22 inches long. It's pretty big. It's pretty big. And the price is affordable for this thing at its size. So let me give you an idea. This is $59.99. Okay? But most places have sold out of it already for pre-orders. Entertainment Earth, one of my favorite shops, and if you use them, feel free to use the code Hoarder. That actually supports me. Thank you. But they are sold out of this for pre-orders. And I think Big Bad Toy Store might be as well. Amazon is. I know Amazon is. Target might still have pre-orders, but for some insane reason earlier, it was 80 and not 60. I don't know why that is. McFarlane Toys had it earlier this afternoon for $59.99, so the regular price. But yes, it will accommodate this '89 Batman figure, and the detail, I think, for that price point is really good. I really do like this a lot. Also, because the Batwing, I kid you not, it's massive. It's over twice the size of the Batmobile, okay? But, It is $250. You heard that correctly. It doesn't have like any like actual like sounds that it makes or lights or anything like that. Yet the McFarlane Batmobile, which fits a 7-inch figure, is $250. So looking at that and looking at the Batmobile, which is $60, I think most people are going to go with the Batmobile. Also, not everyone loves the Batwing design from Flash. It's reminiscent of the original Batwing, but it isn't quite the same thing. Not everyone's going to love it. I'll tell you that right now. At that price point, I don't. You know, yeah, I was really shocked it was $250. Like this being $60 and that thing being larger, I could have seen $150. I could have seen $100, $120, but man, $250. I don't know how well that's gonna sell, honestly. And these things are awesome, but I've saved the best for last. And first off, Bruce here is gonna go back to the Tim Burton Batcave, possibly designed by Anton Furst. Batman production tribute. And I'm going to send this back to the 89. No, let's send this to the Streets of Gotham in 89 Batman. Let's do that. Okay, everybody. This blew my friend's mind. It damn near blows mine. Indiana freaking Jones Lego sets. And they outdid themselves with this one. 1,500 pieces. Okay. The Idol. Indy. The giant boulder. The part where they swing across. All of it recreated. And I believe there's also stuff on the other side of it. $150. Now, I know that's not cheap, but for Lego, it is cheap. So if you're actually looking at Lego sets that are like 1,500 pieces and that are licensed from Disney of all things, this is not bad. This is actually a really great set. Plus, there's another awesome set. The Ark of the Covenant, with the chamber with the snakes and everything and the big statues. That one's only $40. That set's only $40, and I believe it comes with Marion, Sala, and Indiana Jones. I think it's those three. Yeah. But look at this thing, man. It looks amazing. Look at the face on the statue. The idol there is Andy. Oh my God. As Indy is about to swap for the idol, that boulder. And like, I'm thinking some of this like pulls open or something because there's like, it has to do something with that boulder. It doesn't obviously just stay there. But yeah, I think this looks phenomenal. And all these Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark sets are available April 1st. They also have, I think, from Indiana Jones 3, Henry Jones, Indy's father, the mechanic, the German mechanic, and Indiana Jones, and the jet, or the plane, I'm sorry, it's not a jet, the plane, and I think the vehicle as well. So they have that recreation too. That's another set. That one's $34.99. But man, this is going to be the flagship of this series. And it just looks phenomenal. Like, they did such a good job with this. Even like the detail here. Also, the skull circle looks like it does something. It looks like maybe that's some sort of button or trigger to have something happen. If you see these little 4 skull circles here. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the bottom. Yeah, but I'm going to go and put this in a museum. Okay, everybody. Now, we are going to look at the future of comic books. All the way to 1 week from today. Okay, first up, I have to explain something. DC Comics, in their infinite wisdom, completely altered their website and made it much more difficult to get captures of the covers of their books. Also, to even see them. Right now, I have to go I'm going to Games Radar. Shout out to Games Radar, who has monthly solicits. And it takes me nearly a half hour now to go through the entire month just for the specific day, as in today would have been the 14th, because the DC books come out on Tuesdays. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. And they don't have the pictures there that you can get. For whatever reason, DC Comics only makes it easy to have access to that week's comics. They used to have this really nice thing where you just hit a button that hit next week, and you could see next week's books. That's all I want, everybody. Just the current week and the week after. I don't know why they had to change it the way they did. And like, I've even tried using the date, the actual physical date, typing that in with a little calendar thing they have set up. No, it will not pull up the new books. So, okay. Anyway, we have The Neighbors. Family moves into a mountain community, and their neighbors may not be human. Plus, one of the neighbors, has this odd fixation with their 2-year-old daughter. It sounds creepy and scary, very supernatural sounding. The Neighbors #1 comes out next Wednesday. I believe it's from Boom. I believe this is from Boom Comics. I'm going to send this back to the mountains, I guess. I don't know what else to say because, this is issue 1. I haven't read any of it yet. Then, everybody, this is kind of the big event for Marvel. Well, not event, I'm sorry. The big release, we'll say. Because an event is going to be like something that's like 6 to 12 issues over the course of months, really. Doctor Strange #1. Clea became Doctor Strange when Stephen died. And they actually did a good job of paying that off. Like, it was like 6 months, if not longer, with Stephen dead. Like, it wasn't just like gone back again. It might have been more like 8 months to a year. I'm not even sure exactly. But he's back. Doctor Strange #1. One of my favorite comic book writers, Jed McKay. He did that really cool Mary Jane and Black Cat series, as well as the one-shot that came out last year. He also does Moon Knight. Excellent writer. And he even was doing, I believe, Doctor Strange when it was Clea as Doctor Strange. And even possibly before Stephen died. So he knows the character. But this is issue 1. It's starting out with Stephen again. And a great jumping on point. Doctor Strange #1. Okay. Remove that. Now, like I mentioned with DC, hard to get, basically covers and stuff to show you guys. But, like, here we go. One Bad Day, Ra's al Ghul. The last of the One Bad Day comic book series. Basically influenced by Killing Joke. The idea that one bad J, what, potato chips? One bad day created the Joker. Okay? So this is Ra's al Ghul now we're looking at. And his one bad day. Which could be very exciting and interesting. Because he leads a very, very interesting life. And maybe an interesting death, because that seems to be some of the things happening in this series of the characters. And also, that's his kind of thing. Like, he dies, goes into a Lazarus pit, back again. That's kind of his MO, his modus operandi. Anyway, Tom Taylor's writing it, okay? The guy who wrote Superman, Son of Kal-El, also the awesome Injustice comic book, and is writing Adventures of Superman, John Kent. That's just a little of what he does. I believe it's also called Dark Knights of Steel. I believe that's his. But man is super prolific. very good writer. Okay, so I feel that's going to be a very good installment of One Bad Day. And there's a lot of them. The Riddler one is really good. The Penguin one is really good. Bane was really good. I sadly have not gotten to the Mr. Freeze one yet. I have to do that one. And I haven't gotten to Clayface yet. So those two I really need to get to. But yeah, it's the end of that. I think it was 8 books. And I believe most of them, if not all of them, are getting hardcover releases, which are only like $8 to $10 more than the regular versions, because the regular versions are like, you know, larger comic and like bound like a paperback book but thin. So yeah. Again, I wish I could show you a picture of that. And there were some other DC comics I was going to talk about, but I can't get the pictures. And you know, I figured I would focus on the Neighbors as well as Doctor Strange. So, but yeah, definitely I'll be picking up One Bad Day by Tom Taylor, Ra's al Ghul, One Bad Day. So, okay, everybody, I'm about to start the final review of the night. I actually have the physical copy in front of me because I'll actually need it for like almost crib notes. It is complicated. I was reading it, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. What is happening? And it makes much more sense if you read the included notes. They knew they had a complicated book on their hands. There's 3 pages of notes at the end of it. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's actually very good. And a lot of it was like, oh, okay, that's what I thought was going on. So it wasn't like I was completely off base. But it was nice to get the feedback that, yes, you were correct in your assumption. Or at least some of them. Okay, so the next book we have, and before I do the review, I just want to prime the pump, everybody, and see if anyone has any questions, any suggestions, comics you want me to cover, toys you want me to cover, anything like that for like future upcoming episodes, because this show is on at 8 p.m. Central every Wednesday night. In very rare circumstances, maybe a Thursday, but that's only happened once so far in like a year. So, yeah. Okay. Next up we have No One. So No One is wild because it's like a superhero, but he's a serial killer. So he actually looks like a superhero, but he's killing people. And this young man is basically arrested for the murders. And once he's arrested, there's not 1, not 2, but 3 copycat killers doing the same thing. Basically, hacktivism gone wrong. And a serious journalist is basically told that they have to step away from legacy media and do a big, well-produced podcast about this murderer. Okay? And his father is the chief of police. So that's kind of similar to Black Mirror, the Batman story about James Gordon and his son James. I believe it's James Jr. I believe that's his son's name. Very dark and crazy story where you find out how troubled his son is. It's really wild, and it's affected James a lot throughout the series since it happened. It didn't happen in a vacuum. It was pretty interesting. Anyway, so reluctantly, the journalist is like, sure, let's do the podcast. And then the father, the chief of police, goes to see his son because he's trying to get some information and figure out what is going on with these copycats and who they are and who is this newest copycat. Okay? And the conversation is not like what a murderer would say, or anyone with any remorse or anything like that. It seems to me like he took the fall and he's not the actual killer. I could be totally wrong about that, but that's the strong vibe I'm getting. And he was worried about his brother Michael, and Michael is actually on the streets now. He's estranged from his father, and they meet briefly. He takes him to lunch, but they don't really have the best relationship. Okay? And basically something happens to Michael, and it's the idea of like, who is no one. Also, the detective or the chief of police comes across no one, and they actually help them, while at the same time someone is shot, possibly with the same gun that was used back when the chief of police's son was committing the murders. So it is complicated, but it's really good. I'm definitely going to check out issue 2. I don't know if I'll go the whole route, though. It's 10 issues. This whole arc is like 10 issues. And one thing I had going as I was reading it, and I'm going to double check this, I'm pretty sure I'm right, it felt like this was a continuation. Like this is like volume 2. Because there was so much background that is not fully explained to you, that you have to pick up on, and especially like about the victims that the killer had and everything like this. But it's very good. No One is a very good book. It's from Image Comics. Also, $3.99, which is the normal comic book price, but incredibly high quality paper, and it was like 48 pages. The average comic now is about 20. So it might have been 40 pages. I apologize. I didn't count them. But it's noticeably thicker than a regular comic book. So I don't know if they just did that for issue 1 or if each issue is going to be huge. I'm not sure. But yeah, No One #1 was really good. And here, let me show you the cover. Here's one of the covers too. You saw the one that I had, but here's this one. And let me just send this to prison, I guess, with the possible murderer. Not sure. Not quite sure. Okay, everybody. I want to thank you all very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Whether you watch this live or at your leisure, it means a lot to me. Thank you. Also, you can check me out on twitch.tv/Hoardergamer. I'll be doing a lot of Diablo 4 this weekend. Mostly on Friday, and I almost never stream on Sundays, but probably on Sunday too, actually. Saturday, I'll be busy. I'll be actually working on my new album. So in case you didn't know, I'm a singer-songwriter. I go under the name My Iron Spine. I have an album out on Bandcamp. It's myironspine.bandcamp.com. And I'm working on a new album. And this will be the second session. So I'm very excited and a bit nervous, but I think it's going to be cool. And it's a great outlet. So, yeah. Again, thank you, everybody, and I hope you have a fantastic... I always want to say night, but you may not be watching this at night. Have a fantastic time. Not watching this, I doubt that could happen. But after, have a fantastic time. Okay, see you later, everybody. Bye-bye.